In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 objectives that your mental preparation should be able to achieve in order to put you in the best possible position to have a successful performance. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jay Tuft, mental performance expert, coach, and teacher. And today we are going to have a conversation about how to install the right purpose and intent into your mental preparation. One of, if not the most important quality that an athlete needs to be able to develop is the ability to be consistent. Athletes at the highest level are able to find consistency in their performance, and so they become more and more relied upon, and because of this, they receive more opportunities than those athletes who maybe fail to achieve this level of consistency. So your first big lesson of today is that consistent performance comes from consistent preparation, especially consistent mental preparation. That being said, your mental preparation is going to be incomplete unless it checks off all of these objectives that I'm going to break down for you in this video. I'm going to get to those objectives in just a second, but let's start off by giving you a free gift for even taking the time out of your day to stop by the channel. If you're an athlete or a performer of any kind and you could really use a boost in your mental performance, I want you to get over to trainwithpert.com/free guide. You're going to find there a free guide that contains 3 easy to install steps that come with some exercises that any athlete or performer can use to better mentally prepare for their next big moment. Again, that's trainwithpert.com/free guide. All right, the first objective of your mental preparation is to feel ready. So understandably, this first objective sounds fairly obvious, but many times I actually see athletes that go into a competition that haven't found this state of readiness beforehand. Here's the thing. Everything that you do before competition, whether it's practicing or working out or analyzing the competition, or even analyzing your own game and looking for areas to improve, all of those things go into helping you feel ready when it comes time to compete. But there has to be a stopping point to all of that. This is because the mentality that an athlete takes into a practice is fundamentally different than the mentality that they take into a game. Far too often, I meet athletes who, in the middle of a competition, are trying to still improve their form or try and figure out a strategy that they're going to employ on that day. And honestly, right smack dab in the middle of the competition is no time to be doing those things. Those things have to be handled ahead of time because far too often I see athletes taking this practice-based mentality into a competition and it only causes them to not feel ready to compete in the first place. So a big part of your mental preparation has to be able to transition you from a practice mindset into your competition mindset. For example, an athlete who's still focused on their form in the middle of a competition is only allowing their mind to drift away from all of the other things that they should be paying attention to in that moment, but they're not. In that instance, your form is what your form is, and you need to be able to shift into this competition mindset that says, you know what, I need to maximize the most out of what I have today. And if at the end of the competition, you recognize that your form could really be improved, well, now you know what you need to focus on in practice. All right, the second objective to your mental preparation should be to get you to focus on execution. As an athlete, one thing that will be the single biggest predictor of whether or not you will find success in any given day is whether or not you are able to control your attention or focus on what it needs to be on. With my one-on-one clients, I hammer away with them at developing their ability to both direct their focus on what it needs to be, but also, and maybe more importantly, help them recognize when they're distracted and then how to get their mind efficiently and quickly back on the task at hand. If you struggle maintaining your focus, your performance is only going to suffer. And to be honest with you, there's a ton of things that can distract an athlete. You have all the external distractions, such as the opponent, parents, coaches, fans, and even the weather. You also have all the potential internal distractions, such as those wandering thoughts and even the emotions like fear and worry and doubt. So you not only need to develop your ability to focus every single day, and I've got a video I'll leave up there for you, but you also need to build time into your mental preparation to help you dial in and find your focus, so when the time comes, you are able to 100% direct that focus on where it needs to be. And that is always on what task do you need to be able to execute as an athlete. All right, objective number 3 is to prepare for adversity. So this right here could be an entire video. And if it's a video that you want me to make on how to help you better prepare for the adversity of competition, leave me a comment below and I'd be happy to do that. But honestly, it's far too overlooked, and athletes fail to incorporate some aspect of their mental preparation dedicated towards preparing for when things go wrong. Because listen, mental performance in sports psychology is not around for all the sunshiny days where everything goes according to plan, you're able to get yourself in the zone, and you're just having good day after good day. If you're an athlete watching this, you know that things rarely go according to plan. So why wouldn't we build something into our mental preparation to be better prepared to face and overcome the adversity that's probably inevitably going to happen? I think many times for athletes, it's really uncomfortable and even a bit of a vulnerable process to visualize themselves struggling or to visualize their team struggling. But it's absolutely necessary. It's also easier. It's easier to place yourself into that situation ahead of time, see and feel what the struggle is going to be, develop a plan to overcome that, see yourself executing that plan ahead of time. And you know what? Then if that situation does pop up in a game, you're gonna feel 1,000,000% better prepared to handle that situation, as opposed to just in your mental preparation, hoping that something doesn't go wrong. All right, the 4th objective of your mental preparation is to put those finishing touches on your game plan. So I know in point number 1, we talked about how right before the game and even during the game is not the time to be analyzing your opponent and coming up with a strategy, because that absolutely needs to be done ahead of time. That being said though, things happen and there can be certain variables that can change come game day that we need to be able to account for on the fly. For example, let's say that you're a golfer and you're going into a round the next day and you plan out every single hole, the shots that you want to hit, where you want those shots to land, and how you expect to be attacking each green on every single hole. That plan, of course, is probably made with the assumption of good or at least neutral weather conditions. But what happens if you wake up the day of the tournament and the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour out of one direction? I imagine your plan has to adjust a little bit. A similar example could be made for every single other sport, but the fundamental idea is this. You are going to be spending a lot of time to establish this sort of baseline or foundational game plan or plan of attack. But we also need to leave time in those moments leading up to a performance to ask ourselves, has there been any variables that have changed? Do I need to make any adjustments to even put myself in a better position to find some success today? All right, the 5th and final objective of your mental preparation is to allow yourself to fully enter the role of an athlete. I did a video a couple weeks ago talking about the different mistakes that athletes can make leading up to a competition. If you missed that video, I'll leave a link right up here for you. One of the biggest mistakes that I see athletes make is that they fail at times to leave behind the other roles that they play in their life, as well as they fail to leave behind all the responsibilities and stressors that can come from those roles. This could be something as simple as if they're a student, maybe they have a term paper coming up, or maybe they have a significant other that they got into an argument with that day. Those of you who are older athletes, you play a lot of different roles in your life, and I certainly don't need to take the time to tell you all the stressors that can come as a part of those roles. The point here is this: you need to build something into your mental routine that allows you to place all that other stuff on the shelf so that way you can fully immerse yourself into your role as an athlete in that moment when it comes time to compete. All right, there you go. There are 5 objectives that your mental preparation needs to be able to accomplish, because if you do, you are going to fundamentally put yourself in a better position to have success when it comes time to compete. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure that you get over there, trainwithperk.com/free guide. I think you're really going to find that it's going to help. I'll see you next week.